Smallholder coffee producers in East Africa, the cradle of coffee, have long been frustrated by competitiveness and trade issues in the U.S. and global specialty coffee markets. These are issues that must be overcome to help the region escape severe poverty. Critical data, where coffee comes from, where and when it's washed, dried, and stored, and average cupping scores to rate quality tasting have not been collected. As a result, cooperatives here have failed to capture an opportunity to separate their coffee for sale to specialty coffee roasters, gain high premium prices, and enter into long-term buyer-seller relationships.
The system work well, but we need to make it in the software system, because information is good, but what is very important is accessible to the clients.
Now, a USAID-funded Compete pilot program is giving Tanzania's Kili Cafe Cooperative free access to an innovative database developed by Portland, Oregon-based Sustainable Harvest coffee importers. It's putting the web-based Relationship Information Tracking System technology, RITS for short, into the hands of coffee producers and training them to improve the quality of their coffee and their lives.
RITS is really an extension of the relationship coffee model, in that it's a space where online, the producers, the importer, the banker, the roaster, the consumer can all gather to share information about what's going on in the coffee supply chain. The RITS application tracks each of the individual steps that the coffee goes through, from the harvest to being put on the ship and sent to the customer. At the reception stage, the individual washing station manager can record each delivery from each farmer that drops off his daily harvest. Those individual deliveries then get grouped in with other farmers' harvest, and the RITS application tracks each of those individual lots through each step of processing. And because it all starts with the delivery from the individual farmer, a container full of coffee can be tracked back to each individual farmer in his or her deliveries, and that way they can very easily identify which farmers need ongoing training to improve their quality and to have more consistent quality, and where do we see consistently high scores coming from in the field, so we can use those farmers as examples of things that are going well with the harvest. And it's really a way of tracking trends in the consistency of the quality to make sure that the entire cooperative is producing high quality coffee.
Through Compete funding, we were able to bring this new traceability system to Tanzania. The major point of this program is to increase the efficiency of the traceability and of the tracking of the coffee from bean to cup. And I think this is a very important project, and I think it will create definitely an impact in Tanzania, and hopefully in the region at large, if the pilot is going to be successful like we hope.
In Africa's coffee regions, handheld mobile devices are popular, inexpensive, and the best way to organize, share, and disseminate information. So, during this Compete funding cycle, Sustainable Harvest is introducing a RITS application and training to take advantage of iPhone technology that will provide co-op members with an intuitive touchscreen format to track and organize data from each stage of coffee production.
What we're working on is making this application mobile and being able to put this application on a device that has offline capabilities like the iPhone or the new iPad. The individual washing station manager in his or her community will have access to a way to track information in the mobile device, store that information, and then bring the device back to the cooperative headquarters to sync it up with the web application.
In Africa, electronics like computers and iPhones are, are taken as, stuff for, educated people. You're likely to see, computers in, projects office or government offices. So for a farmer to use a computer, it's like a huge step. So what I can tell is that farmers are always very excited when we start these trainings, and they're always very happy.
Mafunzo haya ni mazuri sana. Kwa umri wangu hapa nilipofika, nilikuwa na mashaka kwamba hiki kitu sitakifahamu kabisa. Lakini kwa jinsi ambavyo mmetufundisha kwa karibu, na mnao upeo wa hali ya juu sana wa kufundisha, kwa kweli inaelekea kwamba nitafahamu hiki kitu vizuri.
Shughuli zangu katika chama hiki ni kuhakikisha kwamba tunawasaidia wakulima kuwawezesha katika uzalishaji wa kahawa bora ambayo inatija. tunawafundisha wakulima wetu na vile hasa viongozi wanaosimamia katika kusimamia hivi vikundi kuweza kuwafundisha ni jinsi gani watatumia kompyuta ili kurahisisha kazi ya katika vikundi na kupunguza gharama.
Compete and Sustainable Harvest are succeeding with Kili Cafe, and RITS is proving to be the most sophisticated system available to help East African coffee cooperatives quickly adopt international quality standards and gain the confidence and support from social investment funds so they can access and be more competitive in regional and global markets.
Traceability, it seems to be an important tool nowadays to improve or to access market. So Coffee Board actually welcome any support in this direction, and at the moment we very much welcome and appreciate for this initiative which has been brought to us by USAID Compete through Sustainable Harvest in responding to this crucial and very important concept.
In the future, RITS is also going to include the ability to track all of the data that's required for applying for fair trade and organic certification. RITS will also include information that the roaster wants to see, like the environmental impact of the coffee process, the carbon footprint of all of the processing, the amount of water that's being used, and we can even go farther and track the quality of the soil from last year's harvest to this year's harvest. We believe that coffee farmers should have access to the same kinds of technology that we're using here to track our part of the coffee process. There's no reason that we shouldn't make available access to the internet, the ability to track information online and share it with their supply chain partners. We want to make those kinds of tools available to everyone in the supply chain, because the more that we can all be using the same kinds of tools and the same kinds of technology, the more competitive we can all be in the global market.